intense search along part of the Kentucky River today. Police say they received a tip that a body could be in the water. 2 weeks after a Lincoln County woman was attacked by a pack of dogs, some of the animals have now been put down, but that decision has a rescue group upset.
Just remind them every day, hey, we're picking up something that we can't replace, so let's hit the roads as safe as we can.
And with thousands of Kentucky children heading back to school this week, WKYT investigates what's being done to keep them safe when they get on and off the school bus.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening. A tip about a possible body in the Kentucky River led to an intense search today, but so far investigators say they haven't found anything. Lexington police and dive teams have spent hours on the Kentucky River near the Valley View Ferry. Victor Puente is tracking the investigation tonight. He has the latest in our top story at 6.
Tates Creek Road is closed behind me. The Valley View Ferry is filled with Lexington firefighters who are helping police search the Kentucky River. A police spokesperson tells us they got a tip over the weekend about a crime that was committed either on the river or next to it. They say they don't have an exact location. Detectives here at the scene say it was a tip about a body in the river, but so far they haven't found anything. The search started this morning with firefighters and detectives using equipment to search the bottom of the river. Then a few hours later, the dive team came down. They've set up on the ferry and are using that as their platform. Fayette, Jessamine, and Madison counties all intersect this part of the river. They tell us that tip was third-hand information. They don't know how long they may be at this scene, but the ferry will remain closed as long as those firefighters are in the water. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Firefighters and deputies from Jessamine County were also at the scene this morning searching. Tonight, we are tracking another round of showers and storms that could bring heavy rain to parts of Kentucky. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what's on the First Alert Defender right now. How about it, Chris?
Yeah, cold front, Amber, just to the north of the Ohio River right now. That'll slide in here a little later on tonight. Ahead of that, some more rounds of showers and boomers will be on the move. Some of us getting in on some soaking rains earlier in the day. The view over top of Lexington has changed a little bit just in the past 15-20 minutes or so. A little more cloud cover trying to squeeze on into town. Temperature is 81 degrees. The humidity's up there, though, 74%. Little tropical in nature. Winds are coming from the southwest, which tells us the front is still to our northwest. You get that southwesterly wind ahead of a cold front. 81 Lexington into Richmond, 77 now into London and Somerset. Cool spot into Middlesboro, where we've had some recent rains, and in most of eastern and southeastern Kentucky. Not a whole lot locally on Defender. Lexington Metro, we're in pretty good shape for the next hour or two. Those skies are clouding up. Look at the line of thunderstorms now popping north of the Covington-Cincinnati area. Not expecting anything truly severe out of this. Yeah, some strong thunderstorms with some heavier downpours will be possible as that front nears the region. We've got a couple of waves of thunderstorms that will make their way on through the area as we go into the overnight. That sets the stage for a taste of September when I come back in about 10 minutes.
Chris, thank you. Tonight, a second person has been charged in connection to a murder in Franklin County. Frankfort police arrested 32-year-old Cameron Wright last night and charged him with evidence tampering. They've also charged his ex-girlfriend, 28-year-old Misha Nichols, with murder and evidence tampering. Police say the victim, 66-year-old Thomas Ellison, was found stabbed to death Friday afternoon in his apartment on Deepwood Drive. Police haven't said what the motive was for the murder, but they did say Ellison and Nichols knew each other. New tonight, a man accused of causing a crash that killed 4 of his friends in Breathitt County last year has agreed to a plea deal. Today, Sean Harden pled guilty to manslaughter and assault charges. He had been charged with wanton murder. Last summer, police say Harden was driving drunk when his truck flipped off a road and hit a house. As part of the plea deal, prosecutors recommended a 13-year prison sentence. Tonight, a man police say owned 7 dogs who attacked a Lincoln County woman 2 weeks ago is back in jail. Danville police say they arrested Christopher Pope this afternoon on 4 charges of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. This happened hours after Lincoln County leaders say many of Pope's dogs were put down. But as Phil Pendleton tells us, that caused some controversy.
Multiple dogs were taken from Chris Pope's home after the attack on July 27th. Dawn Walker with the Off the Change Rescue and Rehab Group says Fiona was one of them. Yet she says that dog was not part of the attack.
Because the day that Loretta was viciously mauled. Fiona had never left the kennel. She was in a secured kennel.
Ed Walker says Fiona was among the dogs set to be put down Monday.
Fiona has not ever displayed any type of aggression.
A group says they arrived early this morning with this legal document saying that they wanted to stay the euthanasia. But when they got to the door, they discovered that it was locked, and this sign stating that the shelter was closed all of today. Moments later, an attorney and Humane Society official told them all the dogs were dead. The Lincoln County attorney confirmed that, but could not give a reason why.
I don't know. I've talked to Judge Adams, our judge executive, a few times about this over the weekend and even this morning, and I haven't really got the full reason. He said that he would take a time and he and I will sit down. He will give me the full reasons for it at some point. We tried to talk to Judge Adams as well, but he said he had no comment.
Nothing here has been conducted on top of the table with any transparency.
Walker says Fiona did have some other health issues and had problems in delivering puppies that also did not survive. In Lincoln County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
This morning, Pope's attorney entered a not guilty plea on his behalf for harboring a vicious animal charge he's facing in Lincoln County. New tonight, Richmond police have arrested a woman they say pawned Blu-ray movies she stole from the Madison County Library. Police charged 30-year-old Anita Cheeks with theft. They say she used several different library cards to check out movies from the library. Police say Cheeks then took the movies to a pawn shop claiming she owned them. They say that she recovered about $1,300 worth of Blu-ray movies from the pawn shop. Tonight, we have an update on a building that collapsed in Lexington over the weekend. That building at the corner of East 3rd and Ray Streets has now been demolished. City leaders told us today that the debris should be removed by Thursday. They also say code enforcement had cited the building several times over the past few months and had declared it an abandoned urban property. Today, a third candidate entered the race for Kentucky governor. Creator of Fark.com, Drew Curtis, filed paperwork to officially run as an independent. He's running against Democratic candidate Jack Conway and Republican candidate Matt Bevin. Curtis says he's in favor of medical marijuana and he does not support county clerks who are denying marriage licenses to same-sex couples. He says he thinks he has a shot in this race.
I see enough people that are not happy or at least ambivalent with the way things are going right now to where we can pull this out.
Curtis's wife and business partner Heather is his running mate. A recent Bluegrass poll showed Conway with 43% support, followed by Bevin at 38% and Curtis with 8%. Fayette County students will go back to school on Wednesday morning, but this morning Fayette County school bus drivers hit the road to get ready for the new school year. They did practice runs with their buses,
so that we can make sure the drivers knew every place that they were going, and we asked the drivers to run the routes true to time. So if there were any students that were out and about, they could see, hey, this is my bus and this is what time it's going to arrive at this particular stop.
Fayette County school leaders also asked drivers to be patient Wednesday morning with all the extra traffic on the roads for the new school year. Well, as another school year begins, a Whitley County woman is still mourning the death of her grandson. The 10-year-old died last spring when he fell under a school bus. The investigation found no fault on the part of the driver. While the family knows it was just a tragic accident, they ask our investigation team to take a closer look at what drivers can or cannot see at the bottom of the school bus steps. And as Miranda Combs found out, there are several factors that play a role.
It's a routine that starts before the first child hits the steps.
See the grid work here, the white lines?
To us, they are just painted squares on pavement. Matt Woods and his team of Berea independent bus drivers, they are lifesavers.
And those squares, you have to be able to see them from all your crossover mirrors so far out.
His 13 drivers do this check every morning. We came to check it out after meeting this grandmother.
He was laying on the road with his arms out.
Her grandson stepped off a Whitley County school bus last school year.
So that's the amount of space he had to get off the bus.
And somehow ended up under the bus's back tires and was killed. We promised his family we'd keep investigating.
There's either not a mirror that sees there to notice that the kids are there, or perhaps there should be a camera monitoring that area.
Parents that worry that a bus driver can't see down here at the bottom of the steps. That mirror should take care of that worry.
That mirror should take a lot of the concern away.
It's this mirror, and if you look, you can see our camera and tripod along the side of the bus, just like you should be able to see a child.
I'm going to say you have a great view at half of the bus back.
But this is when the mirror is correctly placed. Woods says the challenge comes in making sure it's a priority for drivers.
I just remind them every day, you know, hey, we're picking up something that we can't replace, so let's hit the roads as safe as we can.
Statewide, the number of school bus incidents reported to the Kentucky Department of Education have gone down in the past 3 years. The only counties in our viewing area that have seen an increase in bus incidents are Anderson County, Breathitt, Corbin Independent, Franklin County, Lee, and Magoffin counties.
Is there room for safety improvements on school buses in Kentucky?
Asking me that is asking me a trick question, because I'm an out-of-the-box thinking person. I always look for something new.
And we found something that could elevate school bus safety. The Student Detection System by Rostra out of North Carolina. They install microwave sensors around school buses that give an audible alert.
There's a lot of distractions. The nice thing about this that I think is a differentiator is it's audible. And it sits right up next to the driver, and they hear that beep and they know, whoa, stop, I better check my surroundings.
This is one option, an extra safety measure Chatham's family recommends. They know too well that you can't be too careful.
Some of these areas of the bus they do the best they can with these mirrors and cameras, but they still can't be 100% foolproof.
In Lexington, Miranda Combs, WKYT.
The Kentucky Department of Education says they currently do not have any similar devices on public school buses, but if any district would like to pilot a program like Rostra's student detection system, they are more than willing to look into it. Summer vacation will be a little longer than expected for students of one Madison County school. The first day of school in Madison County is Wednesday, but Daniel Boone Elementary School students won't go back until next Monday. Ongoing renovations to that school have forced school leaders to delay the first day. Teachers also had to wait to begin preparing their classrooms, so now they're making up for lost time.
Teachers are in there working. They want to make sure that their classroom is tip-top for when their babies or kids come into their classrooms.
Daniel Boone Elementary students will not need to make up the 3 missed days. That's because the Madison County school calendar is actually longer than what the state requires. If your travel plans take you along part of Lexington's New Circle Road this week, you may run into some delays. Today, road crews started blasting along the inner loop between Versailles Road and Old Frankfort Pike. That will continue through Friday. All blasting will take place between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Traffic will be stopped temporarily each time crews are blasting. It's part of an ongoing widening project on New Circle Road.